everybody. It's Sherry Rosenthal here today, and I am so excited to be with everybody. Actually, we've got something a little different happening today. I'm going to be doing an interview with the lovely Michelle Sims from Rome, and I'm so happy you're here with us today, Michelle. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I know, it's great. So before we get started, there's a few things I just wanted to share with you guys. You know, I feel so blessed that I have the freedom and a digital business to work from anywhere in the world. And that has made a profound change in my life. And one of the reasons is because, as many of you know, I used to be a physician. And because of that, I was stuck in an office. I had a couple of weeks a year to take a vacation, and that was it. And I'm such a wanderlust person that there was just no great alignment between what I was doing in my life and how I was doing it and what I love. Now that I get to work mostly from my computer, it's fantastic. The freedom is really amazing. For example, last year, I spent a month in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. And this year, I was able to go to Morocco for 2 weeks. I then went to Provence, France for 5 weeks. I was in Lake Como for a week, and then Milan for 3 weeks. And so because now you can totally run a business on your computer, there's nothing stopping us. And interestingly enough, and I can't for the life of me remember where I saw this statistic, but I read somewhere that by like 2020, half of the people, at least in the US, are going to be able to work from their computer. And that is a striking statistic, considering back in the 90s, they didn't even have the internet. So there was nothing. There was no way that you could ever work away from the building that you were working in. And so this has created a totally different lifestyle for us. And as a result, we're starting to see all kinds of very interesting opportunities pop up around the world from different companies to support people in traveling. Because the one thing I noticed for me, and I know you're going to have a lot to say about this, Michelle, but when I travel, I've been just doing Airbnbs, and I don't know anybody in the area that I'm traveling to. So I'm all alone, basically. And thankfully for me, you could plot me down anywhere. I don't care if I know the language or not. I'm going to find my way around. But what's very interesting and what I really love about the concept of Rome, and we're going to be talking a lot about that today, is that you can go someplace, live someplace, and have instant community activities and just feel at home wherever you are and have like a kickstart at being comfortable no matter where you are. So Michelle, why don't you tell us first who the heck you are and what you have to do with Rome, and just share a little bit about how long you've been there.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm Michelle and I work for Rome, and I'm the Global Events and Partnerships Director. So I came on board when we needed a location in London. So I became the community manager in London and we launched London in December. And so since then I've been working super hard to create this amazing product that has literally just been amazing for so many people. Yeah, we've definitely made people's dreams come true by having this product. Yeah, so a little bit about Rome. We're a global network of co-living spaces. So as I mentioned, we have our London property where I am right now, and we have our Bali property, our Miami, and Tokyo as well. We're actually opening up in New York pretty soon, so watch this space. And hopefully after that, all around the world. So you'll see us popping up everywhere because, yeah, we truly, yeah, it's a great product, and we've got such an incredible community, and that's what we do. We connect people from all walks of life.
So Michelle, tell me a little bit about how it works. Like, for example, next summer, as I mentioned to you, I really want to stay in London at the new facility. So tell us a little bit about like how it works. If I come there in the summer and stay for a month, what am I going to experience? Like, what's the whole thing about?
Yeah, I mean, some people put us in a category of glorified hostel. I definitely don't put us there. We actually are a completely different category altogether because we're creating something entirely new. And if you want to have like a picture in your head, think about it as a co-working space with studio apartments attached on top. So you've got your own personal space, your own room with your own bathroom. You've got some of our properties actually have kitchenettes in their rooms, but I never encourage anyone to use their kitchenette in their room because the kitchen in every single Rome house is the heart of the home. So yeah, you really have everything you need when you arrive at Rome to feel at home. So you have the battle-tested Wi-Fi that I'm currently using, so we're definitely not going to be cutting out. And you've got your space. You've got the kitchen. So every property has a chef's kitchen and a co-working space, and the community, of course, the diverse community that makes up Rome what it is.
I just love the idea of that because I need my private space, Michelle. I mean, I have to have my own bathroom. I'm really weird about that kind of thing. So I want my,
don't worry.
I know. I'm not like at the age of hostel thingies anymore, you know? And so it's nice to be able to have my own space, but also be able to meet other people and have a conversation and, you know, talk about interesting things that are going on worldwide. So in the kitchen there, when you say it's a shared kitchen, like if I want to buy my own food, is there a place to put my stuff? And can I do that and cook my own thing? And like, how does that all work?
Yeah, I mean, so everyone has a little bit of home when they arrive. So they have a space in the fridge, and if you have a look on our website, you'll see multiple photos of our kitchens. But we have see-through fridges, so you can kind of see everything that everyone buys and makes. So that's an interesting thing to see. Because you learn a lot about someone from what they have in their fridge. So you'll see someone with only bottles of bourbon, or you'll see someone with all these organic produce. And the thing is, though, in the kitchen, that's the heart of the home, and that's my favorite place in the entire house because that's all the magic that happens there. You meet such interesting people. You have inspiring conversations. You talk about where they're from, what they eat. We even have events that go on in the kitchen. So a standard across a standard across each location is community dinners. So that happens every night on a Wednesday. And so no matter what Rome property you're at, you'll always have a community dinner night. And so we'll usually buy things, and we'll either print out recipes and cook things together, or we'll get something from the local store and whip that up, or we'll have an external partner come through and they'll cook us something. So in London, we've got a partnership with a space called Whoot, and they make this incredible pizza. So they came in and they're going to be making pizzas for us one night. Yeah, so we try and do interesting things like that. And then also a lot of what we do is skill sharing. So we'll have people that are already staying in Rome that have cooking skills. So we had Ratna, who was from India, and she is an incredible chef, and she cooks beautiful Indian food. So she gave us a little lesson on spices, and yeah, it was just off the bat, and it was amazing to see someone share something that's so close to what they do at home. And yeah, we have incredibly talented people that stay here. So.
Wow, what I really love about this, Michelle, it just sounds like you don't have to feel lonely when you go someplace and travel, and that you do have exposure from people all over the world. I'm really curious, as far as age range goes, what are you finding? Like, is it all just young millennials that are traveling, or what's the scoop?
So actually, I would say our average age is between 35 to 40, but I mean, we have such a diverse community. We have retirees, we have people on sabbaticals, we have people studying their masters, we have lawyers, we have entrepreneurs, digital nomads. We actually have, in London, we have a famous race car driver that's living with us.
Wow.
Yeah, and all these people have, they stay with us for several different reasons, but it really truly is to connect with like-minded people and for that community aspect.
Wow. Well, Andrina is saying, thanks for sharing all the information. Curious to learn about the group composition, because I know, like, for myself, I'm older, and it's weird if I feel like there's just like a bunch of 20-year-olds hanging out just drinking, but it's not that kind of environment, right?
No, so we have events that go on all week. I mean, they're not always led by our community manager. That's another thing. So we have a community manager across each location. Wow. And they're your go-to person. So if you're attending an event and you don't know anyone, you definitely know the community manager, and that's who connects you with everyone. So they'll know someone that maybe is in the same profession as you, so they'll connect you with them, or they'll ask you about why you're here, why you're staying. So we have people that come here to start their own business, or yeah, we have retirees, or we have travelers. So it's all about connecting those people with whoever, yeah, whatever their interests are, whatever their passions are. But I mean, age really doesn't mean a lot in this kind of environment, because you're all here to do the same thing.
I love that. That's really wonderful. And just to remind everybody, I put up on the screen, now it's hiding me, of course, but they have 4 locations right now: London, Miami, Bali, and I put Miami in there twice. I didn't mean to do that. Tokyo.
Definitely. Yeah, Tokyo is our last one, but definitely not our last one. We have New York coming up soon, and several other locations like San Fran, what else? LA, Berlin, lots more to come.
Berlin, I would definitely go to. That sounds fun, as well as Tokyo. I think it's really great. And I'm sure the atmosphere is a little bit different at each one. I have a question, Michelle.
Yeah.
As far as how do you pick your places, and like, what are you guys doing in each place? Like, how do you find the places, and what makes you choose them, and like, what's the scoop? Is it just like you look specifically for locations that are hot, like where people have lots to do? What's the thinking behind all of that?
Yeah, good question. I can't exactly speak for our co-founders, but I understand what our community needs. And that is a great location. So great to an airport. So in London, we're, I think, 40 minutes via tube. And we're very centrally located in the spaces that we are located in. So London is actually our first tier 1 city. So that's why New York is opening up as well, because we know what the market needs. They want to stay in these hubs, these tier 1 cities where they're easily connected to other countries. They can quickly go to Europe via London, and same with New York. It's easy to get around, and it's such a hub for entrepreneurs or startups or people that are interested in meeting like-minded people, I think.
Exactly. That is great. Because I was wondering, I mean, obviously opportunity is part of it, finding the proper building. Because you guys renovate the buildings, right? To your specifications.
Yeah, that's a big thing that we do. We take old, beautiful buildings and we make them accessible and modern and beautiful. You should definitely see all the photos on our website because our founders have done an incredible job to design and build those properties. And so if you see our property in Miami, it's one of the longest standing historical buildings in Miami. So it's actually, the property is made up of, I think, 4 different buildings. We've got a yellow house, a green house, a blue house, and a pink house. And they've withstood hurricanes and crazy natural disasters like that. So, yeah, we like to pick a challenge, I think, in terms of the buildings we choose in each location.
I'm hearing that, Michelle. You know, and I just want to remind everyone, the link that I put up here, this is a special link for you guys. If you decide you want to stay at Rome, they're giving our community $100 off a first booking, which is so generous. Thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome. I hope to see a lot of your community come and stay with us.
No, that's so sweet. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, so tell me a little bit, Michelle, like what would be some typical activities just give me an example at a couple of different places, like maybe in London or maybe in Miami. What are some of those fun activities that you guys actually plan for the group?
Yeah, so it really depends on the location. I mean, in London, we have had a string quartet come and play in our co-working space.
Get out!
Yeah, so interesting musicians come and stay with us, and we've had skill shares. So if someone was a singer and they gave us singing lessons, we had an editor stay, and she did a writing class as well, and she did a follow-up session as well. So, and this was all for free, by the way. So this is all included. In Miami, we've got events coming up for Art Basel. So we've got a fashion show, and we've got live musicians playing. Wow. We've got the Bosch film playing an exclusive film, and yeah, lots of other incredible events, and they're very diverse as well. So we try and pick different ones to suit different needs, and and it seems to be working well.
Oh my God, Michelle, you're making me so jealous. I want to go right now, and I'm not. It's holiday time right now, and I've got to be around for my family. But believe me, I have just such a horrible wanderlust. I would be in all of those places in a skinny minute, and I do hope to visit all of them. So I'm wondering, you guys who are listening in, how about you have some questions for Michelle and ask her a little bit about Rome and what she's been observing. Just, you guys can ask anything you want, and she's happy to answer. So please take a minute to post some comments. So Michelle, how long can people stay? Is there a minimum, a maximum? Tell me a little bit about that and what the situation is.
Yeah, I mean, good question, because actually how our product works is you can stay for a week, or you can stay for a month, and you can stay week by week. Pay week by week, or pay month by month. So there really isn't a limit on how long you can stay. So we've had people stay up to 9 months now.
Really?
Maybe even 10. Yeah. So we have really strong community members that have been around so long. They're basically part of the furniture, I call them. And you really do get a different experience, I think, from staying 1 week to staying 1 month, or even jumping around and doing 1 month in Bali, 1 month in Miami. I always recommend for people to stay a minimum 3 weeks to get the best and the most out of their experience, because you see a lot of people coming through, and you're meeting so many different people and attending different events. I think it's a good idea to stay as long as possible, and 3 weeks is a good taster.
Yeah, I bet. You know what location I love you guys to be in is Amsterdam.
Oh yeah, we have definitely looked at properties in Amsterdam. I would say that we've looked at a lot of properties everywhere with the amount of travel our founders have done. But wow. Yeah, definitely looking at Amsterdam. It's such a beautiful city. Yeah.
Excellent. So let me ask you a question. Yeah. I know sometimes, like with Airbnb, if you stay for a very long time, they do give you like a % discount. Is there something like that if people really do want to stay for a long time? Do they get into that, or is it just straight up flat fee? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, so we have different prices for each locations, but we do actually have an ambassador program starting this month. So it does mean there's added benefits for being a longer term roamer. So whether that's staying across several different properties or for the time limit, and there's different perks for each level of the ambassador program. So I would encourage staying as long as possible, and I can always send details about how to be an ambassador to people that are looking to stay longer term, because a lot of the time people want to pack up their lives and do this for a living. They want to roam around for a long, long time.
Yes, like myself. Yeah. I mean, oh my God, I really want to increase the amount of time that I'm away. I mean, I have to come back because, you know, I have aging parents, but yeah, so that I like to visit regularly, yeah. But I would love to just live overseas. So Sandy is funny. She's saying, don't assume that mature women are dull and boring. We've been asked to quiet down in restaurants because of laughter. Of course.
Oh, I know. You are definitely the loudest in the group.
Absolutely. And Sandy was also saying ambassador program info on the website, or should they contact you? Yes. How do they find out, Michelle?
Definitely contact me. So you can email me at michelle@rome.co.
Let me put that down. I'm going to put Michelle at Rome.co, and I'll put that here just so that everybody can see it. Yes, you need to connect with Michelle. There's her email address.
Ask me any questions if you don't want to ask me online. That's totally fine, but it'd be great to answer them online so everyone else knows as well.
Of course. You know, Michelle, I'm not sure if you're in our Facebook group. If you're not, you really should be, because if people start asking questions in this thread, you want to be able to have access to that. Mm-hmm. So that would be great. Stephanie has a question for you here. Have you seen any business projects that have resulted out of the relationships made between fellow roamers?
Yes.
Great question, Steph.
Really good question. I'm actually working with a company called Wanderlust. So they're a Dutch company, and they're doing a networking event here in London next week. But when they stayed in Rome Ubud in Bali, they actually met their CTO there. So that's definitely one of the biggest stories. And yeah, a lot of people have gotten jobs. A lot of people have gotten business advice. Consultants meet entrepreneurs and people in startups. And yeah, and generally just making new friends, professional friends that have sometimes no alignment with what you're doing. And you end up in a different profession altogether. So yeah.
What about romance? I have to ask, has there been any romance, Michelle?
So we call Yeah, I definitely. We actually, our founder, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. One of our founders, Dane, he met his long-term girlfriend at Rome in Miami. So they're very happily together and in love. And I have seen a few little ones here and there. But I mean, I tried to be not a gossiper, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But I mean, yeah, it's not just about collaborating with and meeting professional people, but it's also making those friends for life and potentially maybe a husband. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. Stephanie is saying that's real value relationship.
Yeah.
Wow. But you know, what better way to meet someone, I think, because obviously you're roamers. And
Yeah.
I know for me, having a relationship with someone that can travel is really problematic because it's so not going to work with my lifestyle.
Exactly.
That it just wouldn't be a good match. So this is a way to get out there and meet people, even local to the area for that matter. It doesn't even have to be in the Rome.
Exactly. And we try and connect people through networking events. So we support outside businesses and bring them in. So the community meets external people and not just roamers as well. So we do a lot of collaborative events here. Yeah.
Excellent. I love that. Any other questions from the community right now? Let us know. And that would be great. Michelle's happy to answer any questions. Michelle, I think it's such a lovely concept. And I really appreciate that it's not just focused on really, really young people, like because I'm older and I have actually looked at many of the different businesses that are kind of going in this direction, and some of them are more focused on really young people. And so you feel funny. I don't mind, being with young people when there's a diverse mix, people from different countries, people different ages, because I feel like you learn so much in that kind of incubator where you have all these different influences and points of views and perspectives. It makes for lively conversation, and you really learn something about how other people see the world. And I think that's really important today, because sometimes we get locked into our little boxes of points of view and perspectives, and this is a way to really step out of that.
Yeah, exactly. And Rome's mission is really to inspire curiosity, collaboration, and inclusivity. And I think we really do that best. And we've made a lot of people happy. So I can see that from the people returning to the community or just writing to me after they've stayed. It's really great.
And I think this is important today, especially because the more we understand different countries and different people's perspectives and spiritual traditions and working traditions and life traditions, the less war and conflict there is. Because when you understand someone's point of view, regardless of whether you agree with it or not, they're less threatening, because people are scared of what they don't understand. And for me, one of the greatest gifts of travel is that you get to transcend that. You get to connect like really heart to heart and soul to soul with people and see that they are exactly the same as you, regardless of all those other extraneous things. And if we can make that connection at that level, I really think this new way of doing things, the whole concept of Rome and being able to live with different people, is going to change the way we feel about each other. Instead of our being in our little countries and like, oh, I don't like this person or I don't like this kind of person, but instead to say, wow, I met some really interesting people. I really heard where they're coming from and understand it better. And it makes me a better person, a more accepting and open person. And that's something I think we can all strive to.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. So
Thank you, Michelle. All right. I don't think we have any more questions right now, but I encourage everyone who is listening to this after the fact, because I know we're going to be pinning this interview inside our group, and a lot of people will be watching it afterwards because it's a holiday week in the US right now. And I know not everybody had time to pop in with us, but we'll get a lot of views afterwards. So feel free to ask any question you want if you're watching this later for Michelle. And again, if you have a particular question for her, you can. They are been very, very generous for our community. They know we're filled with Wanderlusters. And so this link is your special link to use. If you are going to visit Rome, you want to use this and you're going to get $100 off, which is really, really beautiful. So we really appreciate that gift to our community, Michelle. So please let everyone at Rome know how much we appreciate that.
I definitely will. And I hope to see a lot of your community stay in the future. And I'll also jump on the page and answer any questions after this is finished. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really appreciate your time, Michelle. It was so sweet of you to join us, and you're just delightful. I can't wait to meet you in person.
I know, I can't wait either.
And so you guys, if you're going to visit Rome and you're going to use the discount, make sure that when you're at any of the Rome locations, you let them know you're a Wanderlust entrepreneur. We want Rome to know how much we love them and support them. And it's just nice goodwill. So thank you, everyone, for being here. We love you. And I just want to make your Wanderlust dreams come true. I know Michelle does too, and her whole community. So see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.